Hello and happy 2024 to you. Today we're going to take a look at the Govee, which during the video I pronounced incorrectly several times. But anyways, the Govee portable heater. I'm going to use it in my basement. I'm going to replace one that's down there, which is either a Lasco or Laxo. I'm not quite sure of the brand. It works fine, except I wanted something I could work remotely. I could turn on and off. I could make changes in the settings, etc. So that's why I got this, and let's see how it does. Hello everybody. Today we have a new heater here, which is a Govee. I think that's the way to pronounce it, is Govee. And it's going to replace this heater, which is a Lasco heater. This works fine, it works good, and does most of the things we wanted to do, except we wanted Wi-Fi. We wanted to be able to control this remotely, etc. So a couple things about this. One is this does not have a stand. The Govee does not have a stand. And so it looks much smaller than this, but in reality, the heater itself is bigger than this heater. And I'll show you right here. So you can see that the actual heater is larger. On the floor here, I've gone ahead and put two subway tiles. And the reason for that is just to make sure, A, that there's balance, because there's rubber pads under this. So there's balance, number one, and number two, it never gets hot down there. So that's the second reason. Few other things here is here, which is difficult for you to see, but right here is where you'll be able to see a digital readout of the temperature. Any other information, etc., will be there. The top is where the power button is, so it's right here is the power button. Also, this would be where the heat comes out, and if there's any change in that when we get it plugged in, I'll let you know. But the heat will come out and there'll be an exhaust in the back here, and you could tell because that's where the cord is down here. And another neat thing about this is that on the side here, clips. So there's a clip here, and I don't know if you can see, but a clip on the bottom. And the reason for those clips is that you can also stand it like that on the clips. So you could either have it upright or you could have it laying down flat. That's a nice thing because we do move it around a little bit, so that's nice to have. And as we go through this, we'll show you, there's not much more to it, but of course the reason we have it is to get Wi-Fi so we could remotely do things with it, which we can't with this one. It's very nice, it feels well built. The grill looks fine, it looks great. And so we're going to go ahead now and start some hands-on with it. The next step, now that we have it out of the box, we've got everything taken care of. Make sure it's on a flat surface, no obstructions. You need about 9 feet, 3 meters for this to have no obstructions around it. And so we're going to go ahead now and plug it in. And there's a little plastic piece on the end of the plug. You just have to pull it off and you're done. It's now plugged in, and I'm looking here. If you could see in the front, our right, there's is the screen where there was something just blinking digital, but now you see that it's in red. So it is time to turn it on. So we're on the top and we just press, and look at that, it lights up red. Don't worry guys, you could shut off the light if you want. All right, so here's what we're gonna do on the very front. You can see the red light, which we'll work on in a bit. There are several buttons. There's 4 to be exact. underneath where you could see the digital 68 for the current temperature. So if you press M for mode, there's 3 different modes that you could use. There's a mode for auto, a mode for fan, and so there's 3 different auto and fan modes. So we're going to touch it again because we are going to want mode 1, and now it's 2, and now we'll touch it again to go to mode 3, and now back to 1. And 1, if I don't know if you could see it, but 1, the mode is auto. It says AU. So that worked well. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the temperature. So the number you see is 68, which is the current temperature in this particular room. So we're going to go ahead and now show you, we could change it up or down. And here we go. And so the 68, we're going to turn the dial on the top. And there you could see it's set at 71, 70, 69. So using the top power button, it's also circular, so you could turn it. And we're going to set the temperature at 72 degrees. And there we go. So now you could see how easily we powered it on. We changed the mode, and we set the thermostat to the temperature we want. The next mode we're going to look at is called the timer button. So right under the mode button on that display panel, let's go to T, or it's actually a clock icon, and we're going to press that. And then within 5 seconds after pressing that timer button, there it is. Now we could just change, and you see it going from 1 to 4 to 5. What that means is those are hours. So you could set it for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you want. And if you happen to have it in a bedroom and you decide you're going to go to sleep or you fall asleep, it'll automatically turn off in that particular time. Next is an icon that is for the air deflector and lock button. The lock button we're not going to do right now, but what the lock button will do is prevent you from touching those buttons and allowing an unintended thing to happen. So the air deflector, we're going to touch the air deflector lock button, which is the 3rd button down. And there's a little icon that popped up on the digital screen where the 68 is with a clock on it. And now what is happening is where the heat is coming out, it's actually oscillating a bit left and right. So that's it. And we're going to go right to the last mode button, and it's called ambient lighting button. So there's a light bulb on that. And after touching the button and then rotating the knob, you'll see that it'll take care of that red light on the side. So there we go. We're touching the ambient light button. Now we're working on that to its brightest. And let's see if we can get how dim we can get it. And it's off. So we promised you we'd show you how to turn it off, and we did. We are now ready to set up the app. The heater is currently on. It's at current temperature 68. I have it set at 69 currently. We'll raise that. And with the app, our first step is we're going to go ahead and add this device. So you go to the plus sign on the upper right, and there we are. And we're going to add the device. So we're going to authorize Bluetooth here. That was the first thing that popped up. So here we go. We have our Bluetooth on. We're going to allow this. And you can see there it has found our device. Now we'll just have to set up an account with Govee. We'll be right back. Where we are now is we have set up an account. And now we are simply waiting for a white blinking light to connect our Wi-Fi. That'll be the next step. Okay, we have a nice white blinking light, meaning that we're all set to connect. So you're going to, on the very top, you'll press the power button and we'll see what happens. And we are connected to our Wi-Fi, all set. We'll be right back with the next step. Okay, so the next step is a simple one, which is to name the heater. We're going to call this basement heater. I'm not sure how this is going to look with the light above and everything, but I'm gonna try to do this right. This is what the app now looks like, or what the app looks like. And you can see here I've renamed it Heater 2. Turned out I had too many things with the name Heater in it. So if you tap on Heater 2, you could see it's already connected. So number one, I really like that. I'm a little bit away from the heater. It is down the end of that room, which I'll show you momentarily. So I'm a bit away, and as you can see, it's showing a temperature. And from here, I could turn it on, which I'm doing right now. And you could see it's turning on. And target temperature reached, heating stopped, it says. That's actually not the target temperature, but anyway, I have it on auto, as you could see here. And I have the temperature set to 71 degrees. And you could see now that it's picked up the actual temperature down here. It's 66, but that will help us get to where we want to be. And let's see, I had tried this setting, which is to maintain the temperature, but to be quite honest with you, the more I thought about it, and it's down where we watch TV, it just never shut off, and that's not what we wanted. So I went ahead and took off the maintain. And remember, we had all of these settings. The air deflector I could turn on and off, which would move the fins inside of the heater back and forth to move the air around. Night light is great. I've had some people over, and I'm going to show you that because it is kind of neat, the different things you could do with night light. Your scheduling is on here, so you could set that up, and you could say, I like to schedule and a timer. We showed you the timer right on, but you could have right on the Govee. You could set the timer for whatever you want. You could set the timer for an hour, 2 hours, etc., and then it'll shut off. Lock, again, I had mentioned, this is to lock the controls on the Govee. So you can't by mistake touch any of those. And the display with the temperature and some of the other information, I have it on always on to display. You can see here it says it has been running for 150 hours since I turned it on, and energy saved has been 83.2 kilowatts. It keeps tabs, and I'll have to kind of figure out what all that means. In my summary, which will be brief, I'll give you a pretty good idea of what I think of it. So let's go over and take a look at it so you can see the night light. Here's the heater, and you can see it says 66 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the night light. And what's kind of neat about the night light is that it's got so many modes. Right now it's on party mode, but maybe I could change it to movie mode, reading. You could use it as a night light. So I'm sorry, the camera's moving. So here's the night light. And of course you could do other things with that. And there's many, many things. Coffee, light music, sports. So it's kind of interesting. It's a nice little thing to have. I'm gonna put the microphone close to it so you can get an idea of the noise that comes out of it. Here's my microphone. I would say it's a little bit noisy. Of course, once we have TV on, there's no issue at all. But if this was in a bedroom, it would be, I think, a little bit noisy. Now, I did notice that if I take it off of those, it's less noisy. So part of it is it's sitting on those subway tiles. So that's where we are. And I'm going to wrap this up with a really quick summary and tell you what I think of it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me summarize quickly for you. I am really happy with the Wi-Fi connection. It's flawless. I mean, I've not had to wait. It's been very quick. Whether I'm 10 miles away or in the same house, it doesn't matter. You know, the size of the unit is really nice. It's as you saw, it's significantly smaller than my previous unit, but this one is both small and it's ambidextrous. You can also lay it down flat, or you can keep it standing upright. So depending on what room you put it in, that actually is a pretty big option. I think their app is really good. It works well. It's easy to use, as you saw as I went through it. It's very easy app, intuitive, just looking at everything. If I had to pick a couple of things, and I'm not trying to find things wrong with it, I would say one is it is just a little bit noisy, and I'm going to blame part of it on those tiles I have underneath it, and of course it depends on whether I have the fan on a high speed or a low speed also. So I'm just mentioning that as a possible thing you should make sure of. It doesn't bother me because it is our TV room. If I were to suggest something to Govee, it would be that a really small stand, and by that I mean nothing more than maybe something just round and a little bit larger than the actual unit itself, would be nice. I do understand that one issue would be when you try to turn it sideways. So I do know that, but I'm being a little bit nitpicky on both of those items, but that's about it. I think it's really good, works well. I really like it. It's consistent. So let's give it a thumbs up.